Now come to this. The three methods that we discussed, I mean, they were to find basically the initial basic physical solutions, right? Now we have two more steps to complete. Number one, I mean, the first step, as we were saying, we have obtained the initial basic physical solution. And as I said, the best one would be to use Vogel's approximate solution as our initial basic physical solution. So now what we are going to do is we'll be testing for optimality, number one. That means whether have we, the solution that we have obtained, whether it is the optimal solution or not. This may end up in two answers, either yes or no, right? So if it is optimal, we terminate. But if it is not optimal, then we improve the solution. Okay, this is what we are. So basically this step we are now going to learn, right? Now, before we begin with, what we do is we have to first of all, I mean, of course, we'll be talking of non-degenerate solutions only. Okay, so that means we have to be very, very sure that the positive allocations that we have made as a part of or as a consequence of the initial basic physical solution, they are m plus n minus 1 in number. Okay, they are no less. Zyada to nahi honge definitely, but they cannot, either they'll be less or equal to m plus n minus 1. So in case they are less, that is a degeneracy. So we allocate 0 to any cell jahan pe hamare paas equality aa raha tha, and then we move on, right? So once we have a non-degenerate solution with us, that means we have m plus n minus 1 number of occupied cells. See, अब हमारे पास क्या है? When we have the initial basic feasible solution, जो table तुम्हारे पास भी बना हुआ सामने रखा है, you have two kinds of cells. Either they are occupied cells or they are unoccupied cells, right? Now, the thing is that we want m plus n minus 1 number of them to be the occupied cells. For all the occupied cells that we have, right, we'll compute what we call as UIs and VJs. UIs and VJs, how do we compute that? We'll use the equations. I'm saying we'll compute UIs and VJs. Okay, for all, I mean, UIs means what? They are going to be the parameters or the variables corresponding to the rows, because your I, the suffix I runs over rows. Similarly, VJs will be the ones for the columns. Okay, so you have as many as UIs as you have sources, and you will have as many VJs as you have destinations. So we are going to compute them for each source and each destination. But how? For that, we use the equation that your Cij is equal to Ui plus Vj for all occupied cells Ijs. Okay, so this amounts to saying that if C11, if 11 is your occupied cell, then C11, what was Cij? The per unit cost of transportation, right? So Cij, C11 will be equal to U1 plus V1, right? But the question is that they are m plus n minus 1 in number, the occupied cells, okay? But you have m U's and n V's that need to be computed. So obviously ये equations कितनी आएंगी? m plus n minus 1. तो एक कम आएगी ना, right? So to solve those, to get the values of ui's and vj's, arbitrarily or randomly, we have to put any ui equal to 0. ठीक है, किसी एक को 0 पुट करेंगे और बाकी सबकी वैल्यूज आ जाएंगी. Now, ideally, logical, I mean, it has, since it is random, so the situation is you can give any ui to be 0, but preferably we put that ui to be 0 or that vj to be 0 where, you know, the maximum allocations have been made. That means we look for that row or that column where we have made the maximum allocations, right? तो अगर किसी एक रो में मैक्सिमम एलोकेशंस हमने डाली हुई हैं तो उस रो का, लाइक फॉर एग्जांपल से सपोजिंग फर्स्ट रो में हमने सबसे ज्यादा एलोकेशंस करी हुई हैं, सो व्हाट वील डू इज वील पुट u1 इक्वल टू 0, right? So once we have u1, we can now compute the rest because we have this relationship m plus n minus 1 number of relationships from here. Is this clear? Bolo, because this is the first step. Okay, let's do one thing. Let's get back to our problem that we were solving, and then we move simultaneously. हमारे पास कितनी sources थी उस problem में? I have to write it again. जो अभी हमने निकाला था. S1, S2, S3. You had 3 sources and 4 destinations. ये था ना जिसमें अभी वोगल से निकाला हुआ है ना. We'll write that also. Initial. Oh, doesn't matter. It was 2, 3, 11, 7, 6, then 1, 0, 6, 1, then 1, and 5, 8, 15, 9, 10, and 7, 5, 3, 2 with. Now, by using Vogel's, what were the allocations that we made? 1, 5, है ना? यही थे ना? Correct me if I'm 1, 6, 3 and 1. ठीक है ना? These were the allocations that we had made. And since they are 6 in number, and we verified that m plus n minus, I'm writing here, m plus n minus 1 was 6, and you have exactly 6 occupied cells, right? How many cells were there in all? 12. So out of which 6 are occupied and the remaining are unoccupied, right? So like 1, 3, 1, 4, 2, 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, and 3, 2. They are the unoccupied cells, right? Now, as I was saying, your occupied cells are going to give you your values of U1, U2, U3. Now see, what will happen is that for S, we will have U1, U2, U3, and we will have V1, V2, V3, V4, because we have 4 columns and 3 rows, right? Now, if I just look at the columns or the rows here, I observe that I have made maximum allocations in the 3rd row. यहाँ पे 3 दी हुई है ना, right? So what I'll do is I'll put U3 equal to 0. Fine. अब कितनी रह गई? We need to compute 6 unknown constants. And how many equations are we going to get? 6. Why? Because there are 6 occupied cells. हमको relation क्या use करना है? That Cij is equal to Ui plus Vj for every occupied Ing. Are you getting the point now? Like in this case, your first equation will be C11 is equal to U1 plus V1 because 1, 1 is your occupied cell. Okay? Similarly, second occupied cell कौन सा है? 1, 2. So that means C12 is equal to U1 plus V2. और कोई occupied ही नहीं है. Second row में एक है. कौन सा? 2, 4. That means C24 will be equal to U2 plus V4. Right. Then C13 is equal to U1 plus B3. Sorry, it's not C13, it's C31 is equal to U3 plus B1. Similarly, C33 is equal to U3 plus V3 and C34 is equal to U3 plus V4. Now see, we have put U3 equal to 0. How much is C31? 5. So that means 5 is equal to 0 plus V1. Is that okay? So this means that your V1 is 5. So I can write my V1 5 here. V1 is equal to 5. Similarly, come to C33. U3 is 0. That means how much is C33? 15. So that means your V3 is 15. Similarly, C34, how much is it? 9. And since U3 is 0, that means your V4 is 9. Are you getting now? See, now your C11 is equal to U1 plus V1. Your V1 is 5, right? And C11 is how much? 2. So how much is your U1? Minus 3. Is that okay? अब बचा क्या? सिर्फ
मैम क्या क्या फिर से बताना.
C11 is U1 plus V1. हमको तो U1, U2, U3, V1, V2, V3, V4 सबका वैल्यू निकालना है ना बेटा.
इसमें आ गया.
ठीक है. So since C11 is 2, so 2 is equal to U1 plus 5. So how much is U1? Minus 3. Doesn't matter. U1, U2, U3, V1, V2, V3, V4 doesn't matter even if they are negative. So अब सिर्फ क्या बचा? U2 निकालना. Right? So C24 is equal to U2 plus V4. How much is C24? 1. How much is V4? 9. So how much is U2? Isn't it minus 8? You know? So now you have all the values. Is this clear?
Yes, ma'am.
आ गया ना? ठीक है. Okay. Now, that means once you have the initial basic feasible solution, then what is the next thing we are doing? We are computing UIs and VJs with the help of what? All the occupied cells. अब इसमें बस सिर्फ यही मतलब यही याद रखना, I mean, out of UIs and VJs, which one to be taken as 0? Because एक लेना पड़ेगा. You have m plus n minus 1 number of equations with you. And you have m plus n number of unknown parameters to be evaluated. तो एक को तो 0 put करना पड़ेगा. Right? Because we are talking of non-degenerate solutions here. Okay. So once you have that, preferably put that equal to 0 where you have made maximum number of allocations. Because देखो यहाँ पे हमने जैसे ही इसको 0 put करा, हमारे पास यहाँ की 3 values automatically आ गई. Right? So it becomes easier to evaluate the remaining VJs. Fine. Now this is your step which you are using, which you are computing by using all the occupied cells, right? Now, as a next step, what we are going to do is, for each unoccupied cell, we compute DIJs. And how are they computed? They are equal to Cij minus Ui plus Vj. For, obviously, for each unoccupied cell, I've already written. Is that okay? That means, of course, see, for each unoccupied cell, Cij तो already given था हमारे पास, ठीक है? Ui, Vj हमने compute कर लिए. So we can easily compute DIJs for each unoccupied cell, right? Let's do it. Because actually these DIJs, if you just, correlate things, your DIJs are nothing but your Zj minus Cjs. Okay, in this case it's Cj minus Zj. So these Dij's are going to define whether your current solution is optimal or not. It's a minimization problem, mind you. Okay, so we now compute Dij's for all unoccupied cells. Okay, आ जाते हैं वापस. अब what is the first unoccupied cell? 1 3. यहाँ से. ठीक है. So that means the first thing, the first, अब मैं थोड़ा सा rough work इधर कर रही हूँ just so that you are able to understand. I need to compute D13. सबसे पहला unoccupied ये है ना. D13 will be what? C13 minus of U1 plus V3. यही होता है ना. Cij minus Ui plus Vj. How much is C13? 11. ठीक है. Minus. How much was U1? Minus 3. How much was V3? Plus 15. So how much is D13 here? कितना आया?
-1.
Minus 1. So we write it here. Minus 1. Is this okay? Now compute the next one. D14. Next year, yeah, na? What will that? What will be that? C14 minus U1 plus V4. That means what? 7 minus minus 3 plus 9. Okay? How much is that?
4.
Huh?
1.
1 plus 1.
Yes, ma'am. +1.
ठीक है. अब इसी तरह से D21 कितना आएगा?
फोर
4 plus 4 है ना. What about D22? हमारा V2 कितना आया था by the way? मैंने लिखा ही नहीं.
मैम 6.
V2 was 6. हाँ जी. So D22 कितना आया?
2.
Plus 2. Fine. Then D23.
-1.
Minus 1 again. Yes. अब एक ही बचा. थ्री टू है ना.
टू.
प्लस 2. प्लस 2. ठीक है ना. That's all. We have now computed Dij's also for all. अब इस टेबल पे वापस आते हैं. अभी वापस आएंगे. Let's first of all understand. See, now you can see there are a few Dij's which are positive and you've got a few Dij's which are negative. ठीक है ना? Now, the rule says that if Dij is more than 0 for every ing, okay, optimality criteria आ रहा है ये, ठीक है? So it says that if Dij is more than 0 for every ing, of course it is only for unoccupied cells, then the current solution is optimal. Okay, that means we can terminate. The current solution is optimal. This is first condition. Secondly, if Dij is equal to 0 for some unoccupied cell, okay, if it is greater than 0, so it's like जो हमारा optimality criteria था, optimal आ गया. What happened if Zj minus Cj was 0 for some non-basic cell? Alternate solution था. Same here. If Dij is equal to 0, then the current basic feasible solution, then the current basic feasible solution will remain unaffected, but an alternate route exists. Okay, so this becomes the case of alternate solution, but such that the optimal, the minimum value will not change, but you may have different kinds of allocations also. Okay, so your minimum cost is going to remain the same in that case. Now comes the third one. That means if one or more Dij is less than 0, which has happened in this case, you have got two Dijs which are negative. Okay, then this amounts to saying this becomes the case when the solution can be improved. Okay, that means the current solution is not an optimal solution. Is this okay? So that means, like in this case, you know, we have got two Dijs which are -1. Baki sab positive the, but two Dijs we have got which are -1. So definitely the current solution is not an optimal solution. So we need to improve upon that solution. To improve that solution, what we need to do is we need to construct a loop. You know, this needs understanding. So that becomes your step. We construct a loop. ठीक है? कहां से? For the unoccupied cell with the largest negative Dij. In fact, you know, these Dijs are called as your opportunity costs. Matlab, you may reduce the cost of transportation by that much amount if you include that cell in your basic feasible solution. Okay, see, all your occupied cells are your basic variables. All your unoccupied cells are your non-basic variables. So when you are improving, you are including a non-basic cell. अब जैसे हम क्या करते थे? Which variable enters the basis? The one with the most negative Zj minus Cj, right? So we look for the largest negative Dij, which has to be now incorporated into the basis. Okay, so that largest Dij, the largest negative Dij is going.
मैम आपके वॉइस नहीं आ रही.
Just a minute, girls, I have muted myself.
तो 12 बजे क्यों क्लास क्यों नहीं खत्म कर
Okay. Now, as I was saying, we start constructing a loop for the unoccupied cell with the largest negative, which is your DIJs, right? Now, see, let's go back to that table, then it will be more clear from there. Just a minute. एक minute, girls. Yeah, here we are, right? Now see, what we have got here is that we have got two cells with negative ZJ, with negative DIGs, and it so happens that for both of them, they are equal. Okay, the Dij is equal. Otherwise, we would have taken with the most negative Dij to be entering the basis. Okay, so it's like you have these cells, which are your occupied cells, as the basic cells or the basic variables, and the remaining are your non-basic variables. Now, one of the non-basic variable must enter the basis because we cannot have more than m plus n minus 1 number of allocated cells. Okay, so obviously one of the remaining which are not occupied so far will become occupied, and one of the occupieds will become unoccupied. Okay, so what we do is we start with the, of course, like in this case both are equal, so I'm randomly choosing any one of them to enter the basis. So we'll choose one of them to be the starting point. Okay, we attach a sign plus to it because we have to allocate something to it, because we have to make it a basic cell. So that means some allocation needs to be made here. Okay, so that's why I'll mark it with a plus symbol here. What I'll do is I'll type either here, which will be a crisscross of straight lines, either horizontal or vertical. But when we move, when we turn, the corner of those loops must contain an occupied cell. Okay, like for, and this choice is totally random. Like if I start moving from here, I'll move down till this cell. This is an occupied cell, right? So if I have to add something here, that means if I have to allocate something here, definitely I have to subtract something from here. Tabhi to jayega, because the total demand for this destination is only 3 units. So this cannot, the total demand cannot be more than 3 units. So if I allocate some amount here, then obviously some has to be subtracted from here. Those adjustments have to be made. So if I have made a plus sign here, I'll mark a negative sign here. So alternately, we'll add something, we'll subtract something. Now this line is fine, but then I can see an occupied cell on this corner. So what I do is I move down here. Now, if I've subtracted something from this, then the third supplier had 10 units to supply. अगर हम इसमें से कुछ कम कर देंगे तो उसके पास तो supply बच गया, right? So that means we must add something here. Okay, then again I can see an occupied cell on this corner. So I move down up here. So now something needs to be subtracted from here, and then we close it. Now you can see it's a loop. And the kind of a loop that we have got is alternately I have plus, minus, signs. So except for the beginning point, all other corners of that loop must contain occupied cells. Is this clear? The second choice was to start from this cell because दोनों में dij negative था. तो उस केस में लूप कहाँ बनता है? यहाँ से यहाँ से यहाँ से यहाँ से. I mean, let me do it with a different color. You know, I could have made a loop like this, though I'm not considering it now. We won't be considering. ये बन जाता. तो यहाँ प्लस होता, यहाँ माइनस, यहाँ प्लस, यहाँ माइनस. We would have got a different loop then. Okay, but since we have started with that, so we'll restrict ourselves to only this only. Okay, so not considering the other loops. So now we have this. Okay, so this becomes your next step. Where you have made a loop and at the same time you have marked them with a plus and a minus sign, right? So all the plus marked cells indicate that you have to add allocations here, and all the minus marked cells indicate that you have to reduce the allocations from there. Okay, now from all the corners, all the occupied cells that have been marked with a negative sign, identify those and choose the minimum of that. Okay, now I have, in this case, I just have 4 corners, out of which one I have to make the allocations. The other is marked with a plus that has already an allocation of 6 units. But I have 2 cells marked with a negative that have an allocation of 3 and 1. Out of this 3 and 1, which one is minimum? Obviously 1, right? So what we do is we subtract that much amount from the cells that have been marked with a negative sign and add that much amount to the cells that have been marked with a positive sign. Are you getting the point now? Now see, you have 1 here. This is marked with minus. So when you subtract 1 from this cell, the allocation becomes 0. That means you do not allocate anything. So that means it is this basic cell, you know, this basic cell, which will leave the bases. So it's like the minimum ratio, right? So this will leave the bases and you make an allocation of 1 here now, right? But since this was with a negative sign, so we subtract 2 from here and you get 2. Now you see the total allocation in this column remains 3. The total allocation in this row remains 6. But you have removed one basic cell and you have incorporated another non-basic cell. Now it was to be added here, one unit to be added. Hanji bolo. So it becomes 7.
Sorry ma'am, but हमारी next class है.
Okay. I know. So, but I'll take just 5 more minutes and then this topic is over.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. So I will not repeat it in the next class now. Okay. So this is now you get another table with fresh allocations. Okay. The allocations now being 5, 1, and here this 1 remains this same, and this is 7. This becomes 2 and this becomes 1. Now again, check for optimality. If it is optimal, you terminate. If not, then repeat the procedure. Okay. So this is how this method works.